Right now, we're not building enough houses at all, and we haven't been since the 1970s. The Office of National Statistics have just reported that property prices went up again last month. You buy a house today worth 200,000, in 10 years, on average, that should be worth 400,000. It is one of the best investments you're going to make. You've been a property investor for how many years?
7 years now. So turnover each year, going to do roughly about 6 million this year.
Welcome to Property Investing with Abi. On today's episode, we're talking about why you need to invest now. If you don't, it's going to be too late for you. Why is now the best time? I speak to so many people day in, day out who said, I've loved to do property and I've wanted to do it for years. I'm like, well, what has stopped you? The Office of National Statistics have just reported that property prices went up again last month. House prices are going up, and every single month that you don't buy a house, it is going to be too late for you. So let's go over the top 5 reasons. Reason number 1, there is huge high demand for property, and that's not going away. So if you want to wait 5, 10 years, house prices are going to be more expensive and there's still going to be a huge demand. The 1970s was the last year we built over 400,000 new homes for people in the UK. Since that year, it's been declining. And right now, we're not building enough houses at all, and we haven't been since the 1970s. In that time, the population has massively increased. So since the turn of the century, population's gone up by 8 million. Not only that, the amount of rental properties in the last 3 years has halved as well. So we're in this absolute chaos. Now let's think about this. In the last budget, did the government say they were going to do anything on the housing? No, they didn't. Government's not taking any action, and they need to take it now. They're not, which means there's huge demand for property. And this is where it can be the best asset for you to invest, because it doubles every 7 to 10 years because of that. So reason number 1, demand. Reason number 2 is a supply shortage. You buy a house today worth 200,000, in 10 years, on average, that should be worth 400,000. It is one of the best investments you're going to make. Reason number 3, rising prices. Last year, prices went up by 9.9%. My portfolio is worth about 5.2 million now. Property prices went up 9%. Let's do that calculation, which means without me doing anything, literally just holding the property, I've made £468,000 in equity from property prices going up 9.9% last year. I get asked quite a lot, well, what happens if the housing market crashes? What are you going to do? Why should that stop you from buying property? I always say to them, you're all right unless you're forced to sell in a down period. So as long as you're not forced to sell in a bad time, property is safe. It's in our language, safe as houses. And I like to remind people about the first home my mum and dad bought. I was only a few years old at the time, and we'd moved from Wales down to Doncaster, and my mum and dad bought a house for £7,000. Roll on, and that house was sold probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was sold for £280,000. So as long as you're not forced to sell at the wrong time, you're absolutely fine with houses. Houses are a long-term game. Reason number 4, why you need to buy property now. More people than ever are moving and upsizing. You're like, what? What are you on about, Abi? Recession, interest rates, why the hell would people be wanting to upsize? People are wanting to upsize because they're wanting to work from home and they need the extra room. They need the office. Also, it's allowing them to live in places that they never thought was possible. So instead of being tied to an office, they now can work basically where they want, and they're looking for nicer, bigger houses with extra bedrooms they can use as a full-time work office. So now is a time while the market is moving and while people are upsizing to get all of these properties that are going to be open ready for you. And for investors, that's a great thing. Buying houses where the vendor wants to upsize, brilliant, happy days. My special guest today is none other than property investor, entrepreneur, Gordy Dutfield.
Hi, you all right?
Gordy, today we're talking about the 5 reasons you've got to invest in property right now before it's too late.
Yep.
You've been a property investor for how many years?
7 years now.
How much is your portfolio worth?
Roughly about 6 million.
And how much would you say because you've got a trading business as well in
Yep.
property, how much would you say you make a year?
So turnover each year, going to do roughly about 6 million this year.
Why is it this year that people have to start now in property? Why can't they wait another 3 years, do it when they're more financially secure, when the baby's grown up, when they've got a better, job at work?
I don't think it's a reason why you should start now. I think you should have already started. And if you haven't already started, you have to start just now. There's always going to be excuses, there's always going to be reasons why you shouldn't get invested now. And if I didn't start investing 7 years ago, I wouldn't be in this position just now. You're putting your life on hold.
So there you go. You've heard it from property investor, multimillionaire, Gordy Duckfield. The other thing that we were talking about off camera before you came on is artificial intelligence. So over the next 5 to 10 years, so many jobs are going to be replaced by AI robots. So if you think you're okay, you're safe, you've got a job for life, you may want to think again. What they cannot replace though is property. Yep. So it's going to make it the safest asset you can have that's going to give you money. So where I want you to start right now, because 99% of you are not going to invest in 2023. For the 1%, and I'm talking to the 1%, I want you to click and fill in your free wealth appraisal. This is going to give you a report on your wealth right now, and it's going to tell you exactly what you need to do to start your journey to wealth, property and success in 2023. So click the link below and get your wealth appraisal. Game changing, and it'll give you the blueprint and where to start. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video and put a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think we're right? Do you think you should start now, or are you going to wait?